Hey. I'm trying to get rid of this glare.
Yeah, it is pretty bad.
It is. I don't think there's a way to do that unless I.
But you've sat there before and there wasn't a glare.
I have, but I just cleaned. I cleaned my camera. So
That's what you get, Sarah.
Yeah, I know. That's better. I'm gonna just keep it like that. There we go. So clean isn't always good, right? I'm gonna have the PowerPoint on, so it shouldn't be too bad. Come on in, everyone. I'm gonna put you all in and put some oils on. So next week, we haven't discussed next week. I'm going to plan with Sarah and Katie tomorrow for October. So I will have a Google form for you guys to fill out. If there's anything you want to, learn, hear about, partner with, please let us know. I'll put that Google form in later as we're moving on here. Once everyone's in, but yeah, so next week is October, and we have 4 beautiful Mondays in October. So like I said, if there's anything you want to learn about, anything you want to partner together on, we're definitely going to do some more of those community shares. I find that they're really valuable. Y'all love the community shares, just hearing from one another and hearing experiences and stories. So we'll do another one of those. I'm not quite sure what we'll do it on. I'm thinking October is breast health awareness, right? Breast cancer awareness. I like to say breast health awareness. I want us to think about women. I want you to think about your breast tissue, and it's something we should always be thinking about at an early age. So maybe we'll do a community share on that. I know in our own community, in our WellFolk EO community, October, we're going to have some amazing people sharing some breast health tips. But if there's anything else in October that you want to hear about, let us know in that Google form when I post it later. Here comes Sarah and Laura coming in. Just gonna wait for Laurel as well. She'll be popping in here. We're gonna be talking about reels in the comments. Sorry, I'm a little hoarse, froggy. I have this like head cold thing going on. It's like I am so ready for it to be gone. I'm a baby when it comes to being sick. Like, such a baby. In the comments, let us know if you have tried reels, what you think of them, maybe some of your thoughts about reels. I'm going to be talking about Instagram reels and what they are tonight and how you can benefit from them. So let us know if you've tried it, or if you haven't, what's your hesitation? What are you, questioning? I want to hear from you while we're waiting for everyone to pop on here. Melanie said, you have done them. I've seen some of yours, Melanie. I love that you've tried them. They do take like thought. I want you to think about them as like your artistic flow, your flair, because they are very, very, artistic in a way. If you think of it that way, you have to tap into that inner creative that you are. We are all creative. We all have some sort of creative ability, every single one of us. If you're not sure that you do have a creative flair, I want you to maybe take a listen to The Artist Way by Julia Cameron. I'm listening to it right now on Audible. I'm taking it week by week. It's really soothing. Like I'm listening to it in the morning while I'm getting ready, or maybe at night while I'm like, getting ready for bed and I have some quiet time, because we all have an artist in us. And so reels can be very creative and very fun. Okay, yes, Melanie, everyone has the ability. And sometimes when we keep it really, really simple, the most simplest ones like get the most views. It's crazy. So you don't have to do anything like super crazy. Just, we'll talk about all the tips. So I'm going to send someone the link right now. So I want to hear more of you guys. What are you thinking about reels? No, I don't want to do that. Just make sure Laurel will pop in here. Right. Okay, Laura, you're not there yet. Sarah, you're going to be talking about all the funny ones tonight. All right. And that's okay. Everyone has their own starting point. Okay. And Kate, you're not sure what it is. So let's get into it. So tonight is Sarah Alley and okay. And Laurel, she just said she's coming. Laurel Burkholder. They are going to be sharing their tips on how they rock the reels. And I love watching these two ladies. They have just developed so much in like their reels, and I see them having so much fun and so creative with it. So let me get this screen up. Let me share my screen with you guys because we have a PowerPoint. So that way you can see, I tried to get like photo, like video photos. Okay. So that way you guys can actually see what we're talking about instead of just pretending to see my phone. Let's see here. All right, can you all see that? Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. We're gonna rock the reel. So what is a reel? A reel is Instagram's version of TikTok. Have y'all heard of TikTok before? If not, that's okay. TikTok is another app. There are so many different apps, but TikTok was like blowing up. And Instagram was like, well, we have to have a piece of this. We have to do something like this because TikToks are like just really short little clips where you either do something funny to music or you can voice over audio. And it can be super fun. It can be educating. It can be inspiring too. So those are the three things that you're going to think about when you do a reel. You're going to either educate, you're going to entertain, or you're going to inspire. Those are the three things that people come to your Instagram for. either education, entertainment, or inspiration. Even if you're not doing a Reels, what are you sharing value for, on your social media? And so Sarah Alley, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Here's what we're going to cover tonight. So tonight we're going to cover, do you need materials to do these? Well, for some of them you do. So we're going to talk about materials, navigating your phone, understanding what you actually press when you want to do a Reels, how to search for music, best length of a Reels, should you use a filter or not a filter, timer feature, how to be able to use the timer on Instagram Reels, what to do before you post your Reel, how to save it as a draft, what people to follow on Instagram for expert knowledge, and then you're going to have some Q&A time with us. So Sarah Alley, you will find Sarah, and I have her handle down here, her Instagram handle, so go ahead and follow her. You will find her sharing mostly entertaining Reels. She finds the most pop, entertaining audio, music, and she'll do voiceovers. She also educates too, but you'll find her doing a lot of, sorry, I'm just letting people in here. You'll find her doing funny Reels. Laurel, you'll find Laurel, she will do a lot of inspirational and DIY. Okay, so she does have a list of materials that we're going to go over because she does more DIYs, and those are called flat lays. And so you don't necessarily even have to be in them. You're going to show people how to make something in 15 seconds or less. I want you to think about, our attention span is getting shorter and shorter and shorter as humans. I see Melanie nodding. I think about when you watch Reels, right? It's for maybe 5 minutes, you get to yourself. I know my kids, as soon as they hear it, they're like, ooh, and they're over my shoulder hovering. And I'm like, okay, so I maybe get a minute to watch Reels by myself. And so we're scrolling so fast. And even if we find something we like, we watched for maybe 7 seconds. That's the average, 7 seconds, right? So go ahead and follow Laurel. She's a crunchy Dutch girl. And so Laurel, if you're in here, I saw you, you popped in. Laurel, would you start us off and share with us some of your supplies that you like to use, because you do more of the flat lay DIYs?
Okay. I didn't think of this before, but I can actually run and get my things, and maybe it would be helpful to show what I use. So would that be great? I'll just pop out and go get my backgrounds, and then I'll be back.
Yeah, absolutely. And your supplies aren't really necessary. I mean, this just helps keep things cohesive. If you know that you're going to do a lot of DIY, that way your DIY, I would say your setup, your station always kind of looks the same. It always maybe is the same color scheme, and you have your supplies in one location, and we do what's called batch Reels. Then you can do maybe a couple of them in one sitting, and then you have a bunch of Reels to have in your arsenal that you have saved, which we'll talk about later, so that you don't have to do this every single day. You can do batch Reels, and then I was just sharing how you can do a batch Reels, Laurel, right? If you have all your supplies, you can do it in one day. Yep. You don't have to do it multiple days.
Never really done that, but some people do.
Okay. Go for it.
Anyway. Okay, so this is just a big piece of foam cordboard that I got at the Dollar Tree. It's literally $1. It's just white, it's cheap, makes a great background. The only problem with those is that they're not waterproof. And if you spill oil or water on them, it will soak in and make a stain. So that's very annoying, because I'm like really messy when I'm doing my tutorials, because I'm trying to watch my phone and like pour something and I like miss my container. That happens to me a lot. So I would actually Mod Podge the one side of this, which caused it to warp. You can see it's curved, but it did help. I guess some other options would be like contact paper, which that's what this is. This is just like a big piece of cardboard from an old box. And it actually has a crease in it so that I can do like one of these things and make like a background and a floor, depending what I'm doing. And this is just like a marble look that I got from Amazon. I had it left over from another project and just kind of did it one day. And I've actually gotten a lot of use out of it. And that one's waterproof because it's contact paper. So that's great. I can just wipe it off to clean it. And then I have just like some pretty things like linens, trays. This is just like a, what do you call them? Not a coaster. It's like a coaster for a plate. What do you?
Yeah,
I got it. Is that what they're called?
Is it a trivet? I know what you mean. Yeah.
No, not.
Yeah.
It's, what are they called? I don't remember. Anyways, I think I just got this at Target. It adds something nice to the background. Like Sarah said, I often do like flat lays. I have a tripod for my phone. I have a short one, and then I also have like a really big one that's you can also use for a camera. And I like sometimes I have to do some fancy tricks to make so that you can't see its feet, because I'm often doing like a flat lay and pointing it down. And I'll do like a tutorial in that way, or you can do it up against a wall if you have a nice blank wall. I haven't had as much luck with those just because it's hard to find a spot in my house where it works out, but you definitely need some like nice backgrounds of some kind, because if you just do it like on the floor or the carpet or the countertop, it's not going to pop as much. You want something clean and white, and that's not distracting.
A charger.
Yes, that's the word.
Yes. A fancy name for like a placemat or like something
Yes.
pretty to put under a plate. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you pick colors and stuff that's matches your style, right, Laurel? So that's the thing, like match your style if you're gonna do flat lays.
I kind of use what I have. I'm not going to just like go buy a lot of things just for reels. I just use what I have, but I try to keep it clean and white and not a lot of bold patterns or anything like that, so that it's not too visually distracting and people can see what I'm actually doing. So
Yeah. And you guys will have to go follow Sarah and Laurel so that you can see there are two different styles as well. You can either do that now or you can do that when we're finished. And so some tips before even getting started with reels, right, Laurel? Do you want to expand on this? I think you just did say, good lighting, right? But anything else here that you want to expand upon?
Yeah, I really am partial to natural lighting. It's my absolute favorite. I did a Reels challenge, or not a Reels challenge, but a DIY challenge in the month of August, and I made a lot of reels for that. So I was batching reels more and was making them a lot because some of my content I wanted to do reels, but I had to be I was rather particular about the time of day that I filmed them, because I would often use like a spot of sun to add some interest, like a sun drenched kind of look. I actually filmed one of them in my garage. I laid my foam core board down on the garage floor and opened the garage door like this much just to kind of control my light. And I filmed one of my DIY reels out there just because the light was good. I have like this big palm plant that throws like really cool shadows. If you go watch some of my reels, you'll see that featured as a shadow. But otherwise, if you're not into like really harsh evening or morning lights, kind of like sunspots, just beside any window where you have that natural light is going to be the best. And filters can really help clean it up and make it look so much more polished. I really don't think there's any awards for not using a filter. Like for reels, like they just make it look better. Like I think they make it look more polished, pulls it together a little better. So I love filters. They're the best.
Yes, yes, yes. Sarah, how about you for tips before getting started?
Yeah, I would say my eye kind of catches towards something pretty, which I am like in the process of ordering some backdrop like what you have on your wall there. Something that I can put up on my wall. So it's like something that's just like simple, but like attractive looking. And just, yeah, again, with like the trending music is like people will listen to something that's like more popular. So just kind of like knowing like what you hear and what you're like attuning to and like staying to that attraction and trying to make it yours with that music.
Mhm. Yeah. Very good, very good. And I loved your tips, Laurel and Sarah. I know you also put here like the shorter the better because of our attention spans. I know we have, and which we're going to get into, but you have the option to make a 15-second, a 30-second, or a 60-second reel. But actually 7 seconds is like the optimal time, and then people scroll past. Making the beginning catchy. A view is counted after 3 seconds. Sarah or Laurel, did you put that there? Which one of you put that? I didn't know that. Laurel, you did that. Okay. So if you stop your scroll and 3 seconds, you watch a reel for 3 seconds, that counts as a view for that person that posted that reel. And that's good because the more views that reel gets, then the more attraction your Instagram account is going to get. Okay. So that's the whole point with reels. Because right now Instagram is showing reels more than anything because they want to be better than TikTok. Okay. It's like a competition. And so they're going to show reels more than they are any other post. And so if you can put out reels, it's going to get better traction and people are going to see it more. That's your audience, the people that follow you and those that don't follow you. You might get thrown into that explore page on Instagram and it's just going to show up. So practice makes better. The more often you make them, the better you're going to get. Use trending music and audio, which we're going to share with you how to do that. So here's how you get started. You go ahead and you go to your phone and you open the Instagram app and you choose Reels. This is going to I want you guys to take some time to play with this week. Okay, set a timer, give yourself 30 minutes a day, however much time you have, you could get sucked into this. Once you choose Reels, you're going to need to then select your music, your length of your reel, and if you want a filter. Laura was talking about filters, and we're going to talk about how to do that then, all of this stuff in these coming slides. These can all be found on the left-hand side of your phone. Okay, Sarah, would you share with us the music and the audio and how you find your music and audio?
Yeah, so a lot of times I'll just spend every now and then probably too much time scrolling just to kind of see what comes up on my feed and is catchy. And then as soon as I hear something, I think to myself, how can I use that to do what I'm talking about, which is mainly oils or like family stuff. So when I hear something, I try and relate it to what am I going to do to present what I am interested in, what I'm talking about. So when I hear that song, sometimes I'll save it. I'll send myself a message to save it to either go back to and create something with it. Or if I have time, I'll just do it right then and there. So if I have a few minutes, then I'll just go and do it right then and there. So I don't forget about what my thought is. So if you have the time, I would do that too. But a way that you can find music too is if you go to Reels and you click on audio, then you can type in a song that you like too. And then when you're in that song frame, you can scroll left or right, depending on which way you want to go in the song, and clip that part of the song that you want to present in your reel, which is pretty fascinating because it doesn't need to be what somebody else did in their reel. You can go to that same song and make it your own by like picking a different section too.
Yep. So right here, I have a picture of that. So when you're in your reels, the left-hand side, you can choose your audio, your filter. There's like a timer, which we're going to talk about. But here where that little music icon is, you can just go there and like I have a song in my head. Like I'm going through my day. A lot of times, maybe Sarah and Laurel, you do this too, and you're going through your day and you're like, oh, that's a real moment. Ooh, that song would be really good. Like songs pop in your head. And I don't know. I live my life through like reels in my head. When you get so like into it, it's like fun. So you can go and you can choose your music. You always have to choose your music before you create your reel. So like Sarah said, choose your audio. And then when you click that, you'll be able to type in a song and then click it and be able to manipulate it. The other thing Sarah said is you can watch trending reels. Now this is fun. This is where you have to set a timer, right, Sarah? Like you have to set a timer and you can watch reels. And let me click my phone here. And if you find a reel that you love the audio, whether it is audio where it's someone talking or if it's music, you can save it. All you do is look at the bottom of their reel and you'll see words and you'll be able to click that. You'll see that song. It'll say original audio. It'll say the title of that song, whatever. You click it and it'll bring it up in another box and you click save. And it's going to save up here in your audio section. Okay. And so then you can go back in there when you have, when you go to make a reel, you'll be able to look in there and find your saved audio. Right. This takes time to get used to. So go ahead and play with this. Give yourself time to play with this and create some stuff. Right. Now, less is best. Laurel, do you use the timer feature? Have you used the timer feature?
I have already. It can cut down on your editing time if you cut off the beginning when you're getting situated. So I've used it for that. I haven't used it a ton. It depends on the kind of reel you're making. If you're doing a lip sync, it's really helpful to give you some time to get ready to start talking. Those are really hard to do, so I don't do them very often. So I haven't used it a ton, but it does come in really handy.
Okay.
I've used it.
Okay.
Yeah, I used it. So I used it actually on the one I did today. I used it because the way I was like approaching what I was doing, I needed a couple seconds to get in there before the tune or the words came on. So that was helpful. Or one that I did a couple months ago when I was like, I try and do funny ones because I think they're funny. I was like running around the corner. So of course, like if I hit the button, you're going to see me run back and then run forward. So like I needed those couple seconds to like be able to get down the hall and then run towards the camera. Which sounds so funny. So I have used the timer. It's come in handy for me.
Okay. Okay. I've tried the timer. I don't know. I get overwhelmed with the timer because I don't know. I can't even explain it. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but okay. So here, less is best. Like I said, 15, 30 and 60 seconds, right? 60 seconds is new, I believe. Now you have a minute, you can do a minute reel, but attention span is not there. So choose, I mean, depending on what you want to do, maybe a more DIY, you do need 30 seconds, but again, you may lose people. So you want to keep it short and sweet. So right here where that arrow is pointing is where you can choose your your timer for your reel. And then here's music. You can speed it up or slow it down. Laurel has a fun thing for that, which, should we get into that tonight? I don't know. Can you just share it just in case someone does, maybe someone is there with the speeding up, because that helps with doing the voiceover, the lip syncing. Because if you don't get lip syncing right, and it'll look like one of those really bad Japanese movies where they're talking, but it doesn't even match, right? So you want to make sure that your lips match what you're saying. So how do you do that, Laurel?
Okay, so you always see these like really cool lip syncing reels that people do. And some people are like really good at them and their mouths match up. And sometimes people even rap and it's just like, how do they even do that? That's impossible. So here's a little trick you can use. I'm just gonna just say it how I know it. And if you're confused, maybe you can pop questions in the comments. So if you go to make a reel, on the left-hand side of your screen, there's going to be an option to speed up your video or slow down your video. If you select your audio first, like you want to do, you want to select your audio first so that it plays in the background while you're filming. If you go over to that speed selector, if you choose to speed your video up, like say you hit like 3x, it's going to slow your audio down. If you go to slow your video down, say you hit like, I think it's like 1.5x is like the next slowest you can do. It's going to speed that audio up and it's going to sound like a bunch of gibberish, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's going to like fly through it. And then when you watch the video back, it's going to be slowed down. I don't know why it's backwards. It's really confusing, but if you want to do a lip syncing video and you can't talk fast enough, you're not getting it, you just want to go over to that speed thing and speed your video up to 3x, and then it's gonna slow the audio down and it'll start sounding like this. And those of us that are slow can actually match our voices. And then when you play the video back, like your finished product, it is going to be a little bit faster. It is going to be just sped up a little bit, and it's enough that you can kind of see it if you know what you're looking for, but it's not enough that it's super obvious. So your hand movements might be a little bit more jerky or whatever, but it's not really enough to make it a problem. I have noticed that often a lot of reels that people are doing a lot of lip syncing, before I knew what the trick was, I was always really confused why their movements were like so jerky. It was just like a little off, but not enough. I was like, do they just move like that? Or like maybe it's their phone. But I think that that's the trick they were using. So if you want to do a lip syncing video, but you really have trouble following, speed your video up. It will slow the audio down. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
So the 3x, you put it to 3x, right?
So this,
Yeah,
right
that's
here.
like
Yep.
I think there's like 3x and 5x, and like 3x, like 5x is too much and like 3x is perfect. And I don't think 2x is even an option. I think it's just 3.
Okay.
I think it's just
And
3 and 5.
You did it in that video where if I'm nice, you're nice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Watch that video.
And,
I love it. She's putting on her face mask.
If I'm nice, then you're gonna be nicer to me, and if I'm nice, everything runs smoothly, or something like that.
It's so great.
I mean, that reel's not perfect. I still goofed up, but it was better than it would have been if I would have just tried to actually say it as fast as it was. So
it was great. It was
Yeah,
great.
little
good
trick.
tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, okay, so here's where you choose your time. Here's your audio. And this is where Laura was talking about speeding it up. You can speed up or slow down. You want to take it out to 3x right here. Then we're going to get into filters right here. And then down here is where you can find your timer. If you are filming solo and you need extra time, like Sarah said, to get into like the screen, or you're running down a hallway, or you're doing something, some crazy trick, you could set a timer here, and it's going to give you 3 seconds to get into your screen. So it'll give you that 3 seconds to start your video. So that's always nice to have. And you can also set, because it's really, you can go over 15 seconds in no time. So you can set little timers and increments with that timer, and it'll stop recording after, let's say, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So that timer is nice to have. As we move along, and we'll answer questions at the end, okay? Here's your effects. Like Laurel, you were saying, effects are great for anything. Like, just, you can always add a filter, right?
Yeah.
And this is going to show up right here, either as a little smiley face and it's going to say effects, or it's going to show up in, like, it'll look like 3 little stars on the side here. I know different phones are different. So that's where you'll find your effects and your filter.
And sometimes there's something such as a trending effect. Like, you see a lot of these popular reels where there is like a certain effect they use, like a certain goofy face, or a lot of times people will use green screen where you can see their body and behind them is like some kind of picture that they selected to put behind them. Sometimes they'll be like talking about it and like pointing, if it's like some kind of chart or something. So sometimes the reel down in the right-hand corner will actually show you what effect they use, and sometimes you can save it. More often than not, though, it's not there, and you just, if you're browsing through the effects, you might be able to find it, you might not be able to. Here's another trick. So when you go into reels and or actually stories, and you know, at the bottom, there's all your effects. If you scroll the whole way over to the right, at the very end of all the ones Instagram pre-selects to show you, there's going to be a little circle that has a magnifying glass in it, and that's search. And you can actually search filters that you want. So if you want a green screen filter, you're just going to type green screen in the top, and a bunch of green screen filters are going to show up, and you can select one and save it. And then once you save it, it's going to show up on the left-hand side of your filters when you open your stories or reels. So then you can use it, and it'll always be there because you saved it. Or another popular one people were using is there's one that has like a loading face on it, and there was one that changes colors. Lots of different ones. So like another trick is just to scroll the whole way over to the right and click the search bar, and then you can search for effects that you want and save them.
No, I never knew about the green screen. Now I know. Okay. Good tips, and we can learn from each other. I love this. So editing and adding text. Sarah, would you like to take this?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's times where you probably film a clip and you're like, oh, I don't like that one, but how do I go back and fix it? So I have a picture here.
Definitely.
See?
Yeah. So the picture on the right, you'll see the woman in her picture on the bottom there, that little circle with the arrow. That spot right there, if you click on that once you are done your video and you replay it and watch it and you're like, you know what, I don't like that, you can erase it. Or there'll be like sections. There'll be like 1, 2, 3. Say you filmed it in sections. Say you didn't like the last part of that, but you like the first 2 parts. You can just erase the last circle and then redo it. So you can kind of do it as you go. So if there was something that you didn't really like about it, you can erase parts of it that you don't like. But then when you go back and redo it, just remember to put on your filter again. So it's the same filter if you're trying to stay the same throughout the video.
Yep. And then if you do like it, you can preview it
Yeah.
before you go ahead and launch it. You preview it, and this is where once you hit that preview button, it'll show up like a story, and you'll be able to add text to it.
Mhm.
Always make sure your text is kind of right here. It's weird, but like make sure it's right in the middle. You don't want your text up top or way at the bottom, because then it does get cut off. So right here, like at eye level, is where you always want your text to be. And make sure when you're putting your text on that it's not a lot. So think about people that you follow that have too much text and you're like, I can't even read it. It goes so fast, right? So
Yes.
you want to put as much information as in as little text as possible, right? The really, 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 really important stuff. Okay, right there. Okay.
And when you're doing the words, like there'll be a grid too. Like if you're kind of going too far up, like you just kind of see where that grid is and you don't want to go past it. Like you're saying, like, you know, above her hairline there is probably too far up.
Yeah. And then too far down, you're getting cut off as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so once you do that, you preview, you add your text, then it's like, do you post? Do you not post? We had this conversation the other day when we were planning this, that Instagram will sometimes delete your drafts. If you save it as a draft, you always want to make sure you save it to your phone too. So you have, oh, this is blurry. You have the option, once you preview it, add your text, then you click next, and it's going to bring it up to that final page before you post it. And that's where you can add your caption, like what do you want to say about this post, just like you would normally post, your title, your caption. And then you have the option then to upload a photo from your phone. So you want to do a cover photo, so that way your Instagram feed looks cohesive, and have a pretty picture that matches, you know, whatever you're talking about. And you can put a cover photo on, and you can do that by clicking. It says cover, you click it, and then you search your phone. You don't have to do that. It just makes your Instagram feed look cohesive. If you like that, if you like it to look more cohesive. If you do, before you post on that page, you'll also see a little arrow that is a drop down arrow. It's like a little arrow pointing down that's always at the top part of your screen. Click that, and your Instagram reel is going to save to your phone. It's going to save without the music. So you'll just always have to go back in and add the music when you, or your audio when you post it in real time. And then you can also save it as a draft. But Sarah and Laurel, you've had Instagram delete your drafts by accident. All that hard work.
Found that out the hard way. And sometimes Instagram will also goof them up. Like it messes up the text. Like even if you go back and rewatch it right before you post it, everything looks fine. Then you post it, it'll still, there's something wrong with it. Like it happened to me so many times. The text was like stretched or just weird. Like I don't know. It just seemed like every time something was wrong with it if I posted it from drafts. So what I would do, what I started doing every single time is, well, yeah, when I got to that preview page after I had added all my text and it was done, I would hit that arrow at the top and save it to my photo album on my phone. And the audio will save with your reel if you're using saved audio like from somebody else. The only time the audio will not save is if you used a song from Instagram's music library. I learned that if you are doing a lip syncing reel or you saved audio from somebody else's reel and that's what you used, that actually will download to your phone, or it has for me. So yeah, if you're using something from Instagram's music library, once you go to post your reel from your photo album, you just have to add the music back in. It's not really too big of a deal. Just have to put the audio back on before you post it.
Good to know. Okay. So some tips and some recap, okay? Over here, when you open your Instagram app and you want to do a reel, you choose, just like you would choose your story or going live or a post, you choose reels, and it's right here. When you hold that button in, you're filming yourself. So before you do that, you always have to choose your audio, your speed, your filter or effects. If you want to do a timer, I'm not sure what a line is. Do you guys know what a line is? I never really used that.
What?
A line.
I'm
Maybe
just
that's
looking.
more for an iPhone. I don't know.
That one's not on my phone. I'm just looking at it right now. I don't think I've seen that before.
Okay. I know mine has like a grid. You can make a grid. I don't know. So everyone's different. I mean, so just the ones that you have to think about are the audio, the speed, the filter, and if you want to use a timer, that's it. So tips, find trending audio and music. Because if you're using trending music, it's going to show up more in Instagram Reels in that explore page. If you lip sync, make sure your mouth and the words line up, like Laurel was sharing, do the 3 times, like speed it up and keep it simple and just be you. I'm going to give you an account to follow, ladies. Brunch with Babs. I think she's like 80 years old. She has over like 400,000 followers, and my girls and I love to watch her. Brunch with Babs. And she doesn't use any music. All she does is she goes and she gives you a quick tip. Like, has your mother ever told you how to be a good house guest? Do you know how to tell if your propane tank is full or empty? I mean, practical tips. And 465,000 followers. So we love to watch her. So you can do simple things like that. Like, so I just did one like that today, and I did a breakfast hack. That's all I did. So keep it simple. Just be you. Start making reels. Have fun with it. Find what you like to do. Like Laurel makes, like she does the flat lays, she does the DIY. Sarah, you like to find fun audio and voiceovers. You know, I have some other tips here. Find trending music, know what you love to talk about. So know your audience. What do you talk about every day on Instagram? Just do it that way in Reels. Like, so the one I did today was a breakfast hack, like bake potatoes the night before, and then you'll have hash browns in the morning. Well, I almost did that today as just like a post with a picture of potatoes. And then I thought, no, I would get more views if I did it as a reel, because people would share it. And that's the thing, you want people to share your reels. Serve your audience, so you're bringing value. You're educating, you're inspiring, and you are entertaining too. So serve your audience and know that it's okay to replicate what other people have already done. Sarah and Laurel, have you done that? Like if you see something that you think is funny and you're like, oh, I'm going to put my own twist to it. Have you done that?
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is like you can make it your own either by the education piece or just like obviously your personality, pretty much all of it. It's just like you get an idea and then you make it your own.
Yeah, the trick is to find like audio that you like and that makes you laugh and apply it to your niche. I'm not as good at that as it could be because I often get these great ideas and then I like go do something else and I completely forget about it. So there's that.
Yeah. Keep an idea journal.
There's also another tip I want. Yeah, I should. I know some people do. I really should do that. I would probably be more productive in the Reels department if I did. There is another tip I wanted to give. like you said, find trending audio. There is a website that you can actually search for trending audio. It will tell you what the trending audio, like the trending songs are. I don't remember the name of the website, but I can tell you where to find it. So I think on the slideshow I had said to follow Rebel Nutrition for like Reels tips.
Yep, right here.
Basically everything I know about Reels, I learned from her. So if you go to her page and watch her, excuse me, and watch her Reels, she, I think, tells you what the website is, and she has a lot of Reels, so you might have to watch a lot of them, but honestly, they're so helpful. She has like a lot of Reels on how to make Reels and to make them better. And she has a ton of Reels on Canva tricks. I'll put her Instagram handle in the chat, but if you are kind of lost on trying to find trending audio like I am, I guess I'm not musically inclined because I really struggle to find audio that I like. So, and that's trending. So if you, yeah, go find that on her page. I'm pretty sure it's her that has a reel about it. And there's more people that do, but you can go on this website and find trending audio. It'll tell you what's trending to help you out with that.
Okay, awesome. I have it here. I have so some terms and some experts to follow. So viral means like when someone says, oh, my reel went viral, that means that you have over 1,000 views, and you can see your views if you go into Instagram and you click your profile at the top. I don't know if you can see that, but at the top, you can click the Reels button and you can see how many views you have on your Reels. The simplest ones that I've done, those are the ones that go viral, the ones that take me 5 seconds to make, and they're like the silliest ones. So over 1,000 views means viral. Censorship. Instagram can delete anything that does not follow their guidelines, which is crazy these days. I'm sure you've heard of censorship. So if something gets taken down, they'll let you know that this went against community guidelines, especially things that are nowadays going against the grain of like medical freedoms. So anything that's, if you're talking about natural wellness, it could maybe get taken down. You just have to do it well. So then the people that follow, like Laurel said, Rebel Nutrition here, Brock Johnson, Soul Fox Living, they are great to follow. Every day they give you tips and tricks on how to create reels, how to go viral, how to serve your audience, and new things that Instagram is coming up with too, because you used to have to use 30 hashtags. Now you only have to use like 8. So things are always changing and they're always up to date with all that information. So in the comments, go ahead and put your handle. What is your Instagram handle? Like that means what's your account name? I'm going to stop share and then ask some questions. What are some questions that you have for us? That we
The
can answer?
hashtags. Yeah, I recently have been looking at hashtags more often. So to answer your question, Laura, it used to be about like 30 hashtags. That was a few months ago. Now it's more down to like 7 to 14. So they say to play around with it. They say to do most of the same hashtags, what you're doing in each post. So it draws in those people, but also to mix it up, not to just copy and paste it every single reel that you do. And if you want to make it easier, so you're not typing it out the whole time, type out most of what you want on a reel, post it to like your notes on your phone so you can copy and paste it and then add some here and there. But really the algorithm for hashtags is more so around like 8 or 10 or something around there now. And that I get from where I follow Brock Johnson. He talks a lot about like following Instagram and what the popular thing is right now and what to do and what not to do. So I get a lot of my tips from him.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say like do like a handful, 5 to 7 hashtags that are specific to what you're posting. Like if it's like a picture of breakfast, do like hashtag breakfast, like specific to the post. And then do the rest of the hashtags, like 7 to 10 more that are specific to your niche. So if you're like a homesteader, do like hashtag homesteader or whatever, like a handful that are specific to the post, a handful that are specific to your niche or the overall category of what you're posting. It's like if you're posting about, I don't know, like homeschool, you probably don't want, you might want to replace like the homestead hashtag with like homeschool, you know, like what, like it has to be like categorically specific, because if you get too many that aren't specific, you're going to be running into like a lot. So get it categorically specific and then a handful that are specific just to the post, if that makes sense.
And also they say if you post the hashtag in your post, in your content, then that's more marketable or people see that faster rather than if you put it in like comments under your post. But for instance, like the one I just did today, it was all of like education and I ran out of room for the hashtag. So I'm going to go put it under my comments as like another up for like getting more followers or getting more attraction to it.
Awesome. Yes, I know there was a lot that we talked about tonight and things are always changing. Like Sarah, I think like a year ago, it was put your hashtags in the comments and now it's put them in the caption, like when you're writing. So they're always changing. And that's why it's really great to follow those 3 people that we'd mentioned, because they're always up with, like, that's their job. They're always up to date with the newest algorithm, the newest trend, the newest do this, not that. So follow those people, practice, play around with it. Remember to set your timer. Don't go crazy and spend all day. You don't want to be spending your whole business hours on Instagram Reels. Set a timer so that way you can be learning, so that way you can be attracting other people with what you're creating and putting content out there. How do you get it chronological? So the first reel you make is at the beginning. Once you do, it will, Karen, it'll show up the way that you film it. You can do it in little clips and it's going to show up chronologically. Yep. So if you have any more personal questions, you can reach out to us and we can help you. But the best thing to do is just, and I'm sure Sarah and Laurel, you can say the same thing, but just dive in and do it and play around with it. And that's how you're going to learn and have so much fun with it. I'm going to put the link to the survey. Oops, why'd that do that? I didn't want that there. Let me get the survey for you real quick because I did have it. I want you guys to fill that out so that you can get the notes. We have the notes for you so that you can look over the notes, and I'm going to send you the PowerPoint so that you can go back over the PowerPoint. And I'm also going to send you the replay of this too, because I know some of you asked if there's going to be a replay. Oh, come on. Don't you hate when you copy something and paste it and it's, there we go. Okay. All right. So if you click that, fill out that survey, it will give us some insight on what you guys want to hear next month as well. And then we'll send you all this stuff via email if you fill this out. All right. You guys have an amazing night. Thanks so much for joining. Thank you so much, Sarah and Laurel, for sharing your expert advice and all the things that you've learned through the School of Hard Knocks, right? Learning this, doing it.
Yeah, feel free to reach out if anybody has any questions. I don't mind helping or giving you some pointers too.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Have a good night, everybody.
All right. Good night. Bye.